Hello and welcome back to Tie-Dye House, instructional videos on tie-dye. Today we're going to do a quick video on how to tie-dye the cross pattern. We folded the pattern in an earlier video. If you'd like to see how it's folded as well, you can go back in our videos and find that video and have a look at it. Learn how to do that part, and this will be the step you do after that. This is going to be a rainbow color scheme, and the cross itself will be black. I've got rainbow dyes laid out over here. That cross again will be black. We're going to dye this up here. This is the cross part up to this first string here, so we're going to dye this part, everything on this side of the string. We're going to use black dye for that. I just use a little squeeze bottle here, and I'm going to just start dyeing that. I'm touching the tip. I stay away from the string line when I get started just so I can get comfortable with the flow of dye. So we'll start all the way out here at the end, way away from that string, and start getting that dye going, touching the tip of the bottle to the fabric. And I stay a little bit back from that string line due to migration. And then plus I'll try to squeeze some of the excess out. At the same time, I'll be helping push the dye through the shirt so that you get a nice distinct pattern. Flip it over, do the other side, same thing, starting out at the tip there, touching the tip of the bottle to the shirt, and it'll look something like that, or should look something like that when you get done. From there, like I said, I squeeze out excess, which pushes that dye a little bit towards the string, which is why I stay back from the string, and it also helps the dye to go through all of the layers of the shirt. This is a front and back pattern, so it's thicker than a one-sided pattern, and it takes a little bit more for that dye to go through and penetrate to give you a nice clean cross. So I just sandwich my two fingers here, put it across that pattern. Don't come all the way up to the line, but just before that string line, and just squeeze with my fingers. You see a little excess came off there, but what it did do also is made sure that that penetrates all the way through so you have no white spots in your cross, and it also got it right up to the dye, that little first string line that I put on there. So that's the cross itself dyed. Now we'll stick this in a bin and dye the rest of the shirt in the rainbow color scheme. Okay, so here we go. I've got this setting on a rack, so any excess drip off goes underneath instead of being puddled up underneath the shirt, and has somewhere to sort of drain off. We'll start this again with red, rainbow color scheme, and I start that just beyond that second string, which there's probably about an inch or so in between the first and second string. I don't get right on the string. I allow the dye to sort of flow that way, so I'll be back a little bit off that string, and I run a line of red dye across that. Just kind of go back and forth, get you a nice straight line there. Next color I'm going to use is orange. I don't overlap these colors a whole lot. You're going to get some bleed in anyways, and you do not want a color to overtake another color. So I don't, like I said, I don't do a lot of overlap because of that. So I'll just come real close to it without overlapping it. Just kind of butt it right up against it so that it looks something like this. Okay, lay that back down. Next color we have here is going to be yellow. Little cross. Next color is going to be green. Yellow's the color that gets taken over more than any other color. So definitely want to make sure you stay back with those two colors that are touching it, the green and the orange. Next color is royal blue. And the final color is purple. So all you'll do from here is use that same color order. If you line your bottles up in that color order, it's a lot easier to keep track with whether or not you're grabbing the right bottle next. Go red again. Orange. And we'll do this, you know, until we get down to the end of the shirt. And then we'll be flipping it over and doing the same thing on the other side. Same colors in the same locations. I fold these shirts, try to fold them thin so that the dye can easily get through the shirt rather than spreading up or down the shirt. And back to the top with red. Okay. We'll then flip that shirt over, and I just slide it along the rack and flip it. I don't bring it all the way up. That way I'm making sure I set it back down in the same place so that you don't end up getting it offset and getting a color in an area that you didn't intend. So again, we're gonna, same colors on the other side. Once I flip the shirt over, I can see where those colors are. So I'll do all of my red. Then all of the yellow, or orange rather. Now to yellow. Not squeezing too hard on these bottles. I do want to squeeze hard enough to keep a good flow going so that I make sure that the dye goes all the way through and we don't end up with a bunch of white. Your more common issue is to end up with more white than too much penetration and a bleeding of colors, so just remember that. Blue. And then purple. I see I missed a little orange on the end here. That's it. That's the cross folded. We'll let that sit for at least 6 hours. Come back. We'll put a lid on this. Make sure the shirt stays dry. You don't want that thing to dry out on you while it's doing its business. So we'll look at this here in a little while after it's set. Probably sometime tomorrow, and rinse it, wash it, dry it, and have a look and see what we have. Again, this is Nancy with Tie Dye House. If you liked this video, if you find it helpful to your tie-dye process, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you like to see other videos or be notified of new videos and live reveals, go ahead and subscribe and turn your notifications on, and we'll let you know whenever we add new stuff.